Okay, we're going to do the critiques of the special occasion speeches, a little bit of a wrap up, and get that out of the way. And this will be for 80 and 81N, so listen for your fantasy name. This is for 80 and 81N combined. Listen for your fantasy name. A couple of things. Your Excel spreadsheet will go out with this message so that you can take a look at what your grades were in the class. We have situations where some people didn't do discussion boards, and as a result, it cost you perhaps the next highest letter grade. I was pretty good in terms of what I said at the beginning of the semester, that if you do all the work, you'll get at least a C in the course. That meant do all the work, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. First up is Jedi. Jedi, your manuscript does not meet the font requirement in terms of what you did. You don't do the 12 point, you do it larger so it's easier to read. Contrary to my instructions, you posted your manuscript in the Connect part of it, and you continue to have a bright white coloring behind you, which is causing your iris problems in your camera and makes it very difficult to really get a good shot of you. You're shooting up and into the face. Again, folks, listen for a theme here. If you hear me saying on this last speech things that I've said on every speech along the way, it definitely affected your grade because you're not getting any attention at all to what I say. You can't do that in college. You're reading your story, you're not talking it like you would be sitting. One of the things for a kind of a special occasion speech is it's a little bit like you're in a restaurant or maybe even in a bar and you're talking to a friend. Now, it's a little higher than that, but still conversational in that way. So that's what you want to think about when you're doing this speech. You're talking about someone that's made a difference in your life, and you want to kind of let that come through there. And you never want to thank people for their time. You got them there. Give them money, give them drinks, do whatever, but don't use their time to thank them. You know, there's various things on here that you could improve on, and go from there. Next up is Daisy. I have no manuscript, and you have indicated you're going to send that to me. I still don't have it. You have the wrong shot composition. You're shooting up. You get dizzy trying to see the audience because you're still doing the swish pans around there, and I can't even tell who is talking in the audience. This was way too short. You are reading to us, you're not talking with us, and so that becomes a problem too, the length and some other things. So next up is Degsy, D-E-G-S-Y. Stand still. You're still weaving back and forth when you talk. This was a nice story. It was an interesting approach. Good job. Story well told. You would have been interrupted by laughter with the housekeeper's story, and you probably want to allow for that, but since basically some of the people in your audience didn't see that, they don't know what it's about. But nice job overall on all parts of that. Next up is Bubbles. And Bubbles, this was seriously short on length. It ran 2 minutes and 44 seconds. You have the wrong shot composition. You have a very pleasant facial expression. There are many questions. Where did you work? What did you do? There were unanswered questions when you're talking about someone in the workplace who played a very important part in your life. Tell us more about Ron. What made him the person he was? Family, etc. Kids, wife, those kinds of things. Humanize him for us. Clearly, he's humanized for you. You've got to convey that to us as the audience. All right, next up is Owl. Owl, great appearance. You need more light on your face, just a little bit short. I'm not going to quarrel about that. It's only 4 seconds. I thought that you said Aunt Bev each time. Make it very clear This was a great tribute and an amazing portrait of a great woman. This was very, very well done. Real good special occasion speech. Next up is Beyonce. Good composition. Watch the eye contact. We need more of that. Slow down just a little bit. Tell us the story. Don't just state facts. And you have a nice smile at the end when you finished your speech. And relax and talk to us. Think about it like you're in a restaurant or something. Talk to us, not at us. Next up is Forrest. Still the wrong shot. The mic is on the camera. It's too far away. The problem is full tilt. I can barely hear you. The air conditioning is on at times, and you want to be really, really careful on that. Converse with us. Don't read to us. Watch having more move the pages. You had kind of an awkward situation there on moving the pages. If you don't think about shoving them underneath of each other, you just let go of one of them and let it fall to the floor. What else? Good stories. They were well told. This was a very good, focused expression when you were being funny. Very good facial expression when you were being funny. And you use the regular font on your manuscript. Remember, we talked about that. All right, next up is, oh boy, hang on just a second here, and we will be able to tell you that. Next up is Sugary. Sugary, you have the wrong intro of your audience. Horrible composition in terms of what was going on with the shot. The noise finally stopped from the ventilator, which was was blotting you out. You said he has drove 20 minutes to pick me up. Slow down a little bit. Then they'll give you a chance to think about your grammar. You're going too fast. You had a very nice use of emotion. This is key in a special occasion speech. Nice use of emotion, and it was a very good story. It was very short. It only ran 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Next up is Koonz, Koonz. You're shooting up a little bit. Tighten up the composition shot. Again, this shot right here. Only shot I ever want to see. We talked about that. This was a very nice conversational speech. You need to work a little bit on shuffling your papers. You had an excellent use of emotion in this. This was well done. This was a great story. It was a great story, well told. And for you, it was your best presentation yet. Nice job all the way around. Next up is Clover. Energy. Get some energy. I'm having trouble understanding all of your words. Could you kind of a little bit of a groan when you're talking? It's kind of hard to pick out what the words are that you're saying, and no energy because when you don't have any energy, kind of like that. And when you don't like that, nobody knows exactly what you're saying. Okay, and you get that kind of groan. You have that kind of when you want to talk. Be careful of that. You have the wrong composition. You get lost in your own speech. Stand still. You're dropping phrases, sentences, so that it's hard to tell. You do that with phrases, and you do it with words. Don't do that. You have a kind of a Valley Girl sound in the way you present this. It's not clear what the occasion is that you're doing it. And this was way short. It only ran 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Next up is Vols, V-O-L-S. All right, you're reading too much, but okay, we'll deal with that. You have the wrong camera shot composition, but you have good words, and the relationship of the person that you're talking to, and when you're talking about the boarding school, I'm not sure I understand the connection, and this is kind of important. You need to work something out about the paper shuffle, but this was a nice story, well told. I'm not sure I understand where you and the young woman you're talking about worked with each other, and it also ran very short. Okay, those are where we are on your special occasion speeches. For most of you, there's some improvement. Your biggest problem, and again, I'm using the broad paintbrush, and I don't like doing that. Your biggest problem is not following the directions all the way through. When I look at random at some of the grades in this class, I can see people that haven't done what they need to do. For instance, of 160 points in the discussion board, we range from 119 points to 151 points. And this is in, what are we at, 80N. That's 80N that we go through that. And in 81N, I'll tell you about that in a second, we range from 36 points to 2 members of the class have 160 points. Way to go. That's what it's all about. But, you know, the person that got 36 points, you left a letter grade and a half, pretty much, on the table. So when you look at your final grade in the class, think in terms of how many points you left on the table. A fair number of you did not report back on the viewing of the videos that I asked you to do. Some of you didn't do one or more of the exams. And, you know, we could talk about a lot of things in here. The issue I want you to remember when you go away from here is, at the very beginning, I said my job in this class is not to turn you into a keynote speaker at some big national meeting. And for some of you, I succeeded tremendously in that. But we kid. What I wanted you to do was, when this class was over, have the ability to converse with someone else like you would talk, clean up the grammar a little bit, watch the ahs and ums. I am not some kind of a speech Nazi that you have to be perfect. In fact, I'd much rather you be conversational, tell a story, talk to me, not at me, make sense in what you talk about, and it would work out from there. As I said, everyone that submitted everything would pass this class. You all have. Some of you have done very well, and some of you probably have done a little better than you thought you may have done. So if you have any questions, I'm going to be gone for a few days, but don't hesitate to contact me after the start of the next semester. And I want to thank you for sharing your time with me in this class. I always enjoy working with students and seeing the progress that you make. So thank you very much, and good luck to you in your future college career.